Hey gamers, welcome to Game Trade Media. We are live from Reno, Nevada at GAMA Trade Show. We're doing interviews here from the show, and our first one is with Sarah from Renegade Game Studios, who's here to show us 3 of their awesome new games, and plus I have questions about some other stuff. So.
It's going to be fun.
Yes, so what do we have here?
So the first one I wanted to chat with you about is Wonderland. This is a really special product for us because it's actually going to be exclusive to International Tabletop Day, which means that if you want this, go to your friendly local game store on April 28th and ask them about this wonderful game. And that's the only place you're going to be able to get it.
That's awesome. And it definitely will drive anybody that has an interest in Wonderland and these amazing cards, which are beautiful.
Oh, they're so pretty. We had such good success with the Fox in the Forest this last year, and we really wanted to sort of take advantage of that and recreate some of that magic. So we have Beth Sobel doing the artwork on this one, and she really knocked it out of the park. It is just so gorgeous. It's all based on Alice in Wonderland, but this is a 2-player only card game from Daniel Solis, and you are going to be putting cards out on the table one after each other. So it's a gridded format, and I'll put a card down and then you'll put a card down, and we're going back and forth and trying to accumulate the most points because every card you place is going to affect the cards around it.
Oh, wow.
And it's a very beautiful theme. I love Alice in Wonderland, and I think the artwork on this just really makes it pop, but the theme really makes sense within the gameplay of it as well. And it comes with a cute little travel bag.
Right. I always mention this when it comes to Renegade's games. They always have an awesome bag.
We do.
Like dice bag or everything. And we're going to see a really ridiculous one here in a minute because it's awesome. Awesomely ridiculous. So I'm looking at this. So we have the White Rabbit. We have the Jabberwocky.
Yeah,
right?
You got it.
And is this supposed to be Alice?
The Queen, yeah.
Which is really amazing artwork. You got a crow. That
one's really cute.
What other names? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Is this the Nothing? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no! Oh, what is the name of this? It has a special name.
It does have a special name. I can't remember from the Alice in Wonderland storyline. Alice, right there. And then the Mad Hatter. I mean, the artwork alone, and if you're a fan of Wonderland, of Alice in Wonderland, this artwork alone is worth getting.
I really liked Beth's take on it because some of these are a little bit different. They're not the very traditional thing you would expect from Alice in Wonderland, but they all make sense and fit with the story really nicely.
Yeah, especially like look at that the 7 of clubs in full like plate mail armor, just looking ready to wreck house. Yeah, this is all good artwork. It's amazing. And that's another thing that I will always say is, you at Renegade make sure that you guys have great box art, great interior art, because if it's not visually stimulating, it can be a pass for a lot of people.
Well, I gotta give credit to our graphic design team,
so good.
Led by Anita Osborne. She is just incredible. She has a great eye for this stuff, and she finds the right people. So I'm just so happy to be able to work on her team. And I think that another thing that we really wanted to do when we started the company a few years ago is make games that are not only great, strategic, interesting games to play, but are also beautiful. And there were all these games in the past that I love dearly that really aren't that beautiful, and they didn't have to be, all brown. So we were trying to add a little bit of color, a little brightness to this wonderful hobby that we have.
Yeah, it's so good. So make sure that you go and participate in International Tabletop Day. You're going to find that there's going to be a lot of cool stuff, not just this from Renegade. You guys got a couple other things that are going to be on that table. Are available, right?
So there are a bunch of different exclusive products, not just from our company, and this is the only one that is a whole game that you can't find this game anywhere else. And then a few other ones are awesome things like alternate box covers, special promo cards. A lot of really awesome companies are part of this, and you're going to be talking later with Ivan Van Norman from International Tabletop Day, so he'll give you lots of good info.
There's going to be lots of cool stuff. So go to make sure you participate. Go to your local game store for International Tabletop Day to pick up Wonderland, because that's the only place you're going to be able to get it. What do we got next?
So speaking of awesome bags, like in Wonderland, we kind of went all out in Castell. This is a game that's actually about...
Let me grab the box.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
So this is based on the incredible sport of human tower building called Castel, and it's a Spanish sport where people crawl on top of each other and try and see who can build the tallest tower. So in this game, you are also doing that, but by pulling out different team members from this bag, you're going to be placing them on the board.
This ginormous bag.
And it's just this huge bag that's like bigger than me.
It's so big.
It's
so
huge. So you put all of the different Castellers into the bag, you'll pull them out, put them onto the board, and then you'll go around recruiting them because you want a good mix. And that's something that I think is really cool about Castel as a sport, is that it's a sport for everybody. And that's how we see board games too. You get the entire family involved. At the very top of the tower, you're going to have some of these little tiny, these are actually children. And they're on the top of the tower, and that fits with the historical accuracy of the sport. And at the bottom, you have both really strong men and women holding up to support the base of the tower. So in the game, you're going to be very puzzly creating this tower according to rules that you'll then be able to break as you increase your skills.
I'm going to pull this over here real quick, see if we can get it a little bit more in this shot where you can see your base strongmen right here, and they'll lay down, and then there's some other strong males and females on the next level, and they'd lay down, and not quite as strong as the base guys, but still strong in case this were a wider pyramid, and then at the top, the child with the safety helmet.
Yep.
I love that they made sure that the safety helmet was on even in the tokens, so that's super cool.
And the artwork on this, I really like this particular artist. He's done a lot of really good work. He did Honshu, Aussie, and he's very talented, and I love that he got that very stylized look and very historical look of Castel, using all the accurate colors and even down to what they would be wearing and the way that those costumes, outfits look. So everything about this game is just fantastic, really good puzzly game, and it's also by a brand new designer, Aaron Vanderbeek. This is his very first game he's published, and he won the Cardboard Edison Award last year, which is for brand new designers that just have a prototype, and so they go to this this competition with their prototypes and get awarded, and he won this year, and last year was Blood of an Englishman. So we picked up both of those, and I've done great with them.
Very cool.
So this actually is out right now, so you can go to your friendly local game store and pick it up.
Which we highly recommend that you definitely go, if it's already sold out, it's at your friendly local game store, make sure that they order you one and get a copy and add it to your library and put it on your bookshelf and play it and take that shelfie so we can see it there. And post your shelfie below. We want to see all these things.
We would love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also love the wooden tokens y'all have for the different players. So this is a game for 1 to 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 1 to 4. It takes like 60 to 90 minutes. It's a
nice.
Good, really thinky game. Lots of good puzzles to do, but you're not sitting around waiting for a long time for other people's turns, so I really like that too.
And also, if you look here on the back of the box, we don't want to break it all open here, but there is a game board that comes with this, and lots of other cool pieces and parts and bits to make it a very engaging game. So there you go. I like it.
Nice, awesome. And if you take a picture of this on your head, this bag, and post it on Twitter, everyone will love you. That's how it works.
I agree. Hashtag Castel.
Yep.
I mean, even for me, this is. I've made comment that another game that Renegade makes is called Fuse, and it takes. You got defuse bombs, and you have to reach and grab dice. And I have these huge, ham hands, and I can't get into this bag, which is already a decently sized bag. So I want a fuse bag this size, so I can be like, now I can play the game.
I'll pass that up. Make sure that happens.
So cool. All right.
So another one that's actually coming out pretty quickly here is Sabotage.
Sabotage.
So the idea of this game is really fantastic. It is about being a pirate, and as a pirate, you find a treasure map. Of course.
Of course.
But you find it at the same time as all of your other pirate cohorts. So you have to be the person to build the longest ship so that you're going to get there first. Because everybody all at the same time knows where the treasure is.
Okay.
So you're in the port building your ship, but you're right next to all of the other pirates who are also building their ships.
Okay.
So it's a drafting game. You're going to be drafting pieces of your ship. So these parts that each do different things, and then you're going to put them secretly down into your boat, but there will be another boat and another boat next to you. So when you flip these over, at the same time, everybody is going to see that all of a sudden I have a cannon here and it's pointed at you.
Nice.
And then if you had, let's say, a buffer or a shield or something on yours, then this cannon is going to hit that and maybe you'll bounce back into me, or maybe just nothing will happen.
Okay.
But since everybody puts them face down after drafting, you don't know where everything's going to be.
Okay.
So you plan out on your pirate helm here where in your boat you're going to place your piece that turn, and then everybody flips them over and you activate them. So there's a lot of explosions. It's the fun part.
I see that, and if you look right here in my hand is an explosion, which places on the board obviously for effect.
Yeah, it helps you keep track of things.
Yeah, okay.
To show what things have taken damage.
I love it.
They're really cute. The pieces in this are adorable. It's a very quick game. It's a drafting game, and it really does only take about 30 minutes no matter how many people are playing, which is also really nice, and a great family game, but full of surprises. And I love games with suspense in them. I think that that's something in entertainment in general that we're always looking for, whether it's a roller coaster or a movie or a board game, and anytime you can add suspense, it makes it better.
Absolutely, and anytime you can mess with your other players. I know you love those type of games too. So this is for ages 9 and up, so it's absolutely a family-friendly game. 2 to 5 players, 30 minutes long. That's awesome.
And it's only $35. This is a crazy awesome game for that price.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of stuff in this box, and you get a lot of benefit. It just feels like it's worth more than that. So I really appreciate
just
that.
holding it makes me think that it's worth more than that, because it's not a small box.
No, it's not.
You know, and everything. So yeah, this is super cool. And is this available now, or
it's coming out soon? So we are just shipping this to distributors, who will then send it on to their friendly game stores, and we'll have this early April. Okay.
So if you are seeing this and you think, well, this is absolutely a game for me, I know it is for me because sailor, 20 years, love anything. I love any game that's nautical themed. Just love it. So go to your local game store. Let them know, hey, I saw Sabotage, and it's coming out soon. Please put it on my pull list, or put it to the side, because I want to put it on my shelf and play it with my friends and family. There you have it.
Great.
Very cool. Now on to the meat of this interview.
Yikes! I don't know if I'm ready for this.
So yesterday at about 6 p.m., Renegade announced some game stuff coming out.
We did.
That you're working with a certain company that might have a certain theme song, right? Tell us about the Power Rangers and Saban and all this wonderful stuff.
Oh, I'm so excited we can finally talk about this, because it's something that we as a team have been working on for months and months now, and being able to finally talk about it is just awesome, because the Power Rangers are such an incredible, iconic brand.
Absolutely.
And when you think about Power Rangers, you think about hanging out at home after school, and all this nostalgia comes back, but you can also share it with your kids right now, which I think is incredible. It just has this legacy, and we really want to jump into that and make games. So we have several things in the works that we can't talk about yet.
Okay, talk about specifics.
We can't talk about specifics, but we are making tabletop games based on the Power Rangers brand. And we're making those not just for kids, not just for adults. We're making those for people who love Power Rangers. And I think that you're going to really appreciate, as a gamer, as a fan, all the love and thought we're putting into these games. So
it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
And if you guys aren't aware that, you know, the Power Rangers just had that movie a year and a half ago, I think it was. I know that there's more stuff in the works on that end. Cosplayers out there are freaks when it comes to this whole doing the Power Ranger cosplays. Jason David Frank is still very popular, and everything. So there's such a huge community around Power Rangers. Huge community.
And it's our 25th anniversary this year.
What?
So it's been 25 years since we started in 1993.
Oh my.
I know. And that's when a lot of us in this industry who are now loving board games were teenagers or kids sitting around watching it. So I think that's really neat to get back to that.
Oh, absolutely. And also, Power Rangers toys, action figures, surpassed every other action figure in sales.
And they just got picked up by Hasbro. So Hasbro is going to be doing all of the toys and all that licensing moving forward in 2019. So I can't wait to see what Hasbro does with that.
Oh my God, so much good Power Ranger love.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes open and peeled. Make sure you go to Renegade, follow them on Facebook. You guys post up announcements all the time of the different products and content that you're working on. Yeah. So you don't want to miss any announcements when it comes to the Power Rangers product. So make sure you're following Renegade on social media. Now, you also have a couple other projects.
We do. We've been
I'm
busy.
a huge fan of role-playing games, as everybody that watches our programs know. So first, let's talk Overlight.
Oh, Overlay is so beautiful. So we've been teasing a little bit of artwork for Overlight,
yes.
and we have shown off a little bit of the gorgeous art by Kwanchai Moria, and I can't wait to show you more of it because it'll just blow you away. Every time we see new artwork from him come in, our entire team is just like huddled over our computers watching it. And
that's awesome.
It's a really neat system too, because not only is it absolutely gorgeous, it's full of color, but it's also going to be just a story-driven, really creative game. Right. And so if you want to really go and dig around in this sandbox in this beautiful world, you'll have all the tools to do that in the core rulebook. And so jump right in there, start checking out this really unique, incredible story. It's by Paul Butler and George Holland, who are both deep into the RPG community, really know what people are looking for, and just incredibly talented. So being able to work with that team has been amazing.
I've seen a lot of the artwork already, and you guys can see some of that artwork as well on Facebook. There is a Overlight group. Join that group. Again, you don't want to miss any of the news and updates on this game. So when it is on the shelf, you know when it's going to be there. You can go get it. The artwork for the cover is ridiculously good. I mean, you don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
Once you see, never judge a book by its cover, but please judge this book by its cover because it is so good. And I can say that I've actually had an opportunity to play this already, and it's a world and a genre unlike anything you've ever seen, and that's across the board with any role-playing game you've ever seen. It's totally different, so it's going to scratch an itch for someone that's looking for something new, and it's so exciting.
And I think anybody can jump into it too.
Absolutely.
That's the thing I was impressed with, because I have not played a lot of role-playing games, and I'm very excited about this one, but the rules and the mechanics of it did not take away from my experience. It wasn't so crunchy. I wasn't moving little guys around on a board trying to figure out what strategy or tactics to use.
Right.
I just got to sit there and hang out with my friends, and that's what the experience I was really looking for in a role-playing game, and it's perfect.
And it doesn't hurt when you have Paul Butler role playing, because he's a very much a mind's eye theater role player, and so he immerses you through his articulation and his descriptions and everything. So you really get immersed in your own imagination through his words, and it's so good. And I know that there are many game masters out there that play in that arena, so I think it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, they're gonna love it. And now the other one, the other game.
So we did recently announce a fantastic partnership with Hunter's Books, and these guys are incredible. They've been doing role-playing games for a long time, and their most famous one is Outbreak Undead 2nd Edition. That came out a long time ago. It won an Emmy Award. It's just done incredibly well on lots of different formats, and so we're happy to be able to partner with them for their new project, Kids on Bikes.
Yay!
Yay! And this theme, again, is very nostalgia branded, just dripping with theme. I can't wait to just jump right in there and start driving around with my friends on our bikes.
So I have two younger children that I finally introduced them to RPGs when I had a visit with them about a month ago, and they actually took my books home, didn't tell me. I'm like, dang it, I needed those. But no, I'm so glad that they found that they wanted to take them and read them and get immersed into RPGs. And I've been talking to my daughter, who's 13, and I said, hey, there's this game coming out, and it's called Kids on Bikes, and this is what it's about. It's very 80s nostalgia. And I said, I want to play a game like this with you and your brother, because it's going to be very much showing you without all the other stuff, the supernatural and stuff that and stuff that is involved in this game, but what it was like for me as a child.
Yeah.
Seeing, not being plugged into the tech side of what our kids today are, where I can say, you know what, when my friends and I would go and sneak onto the Boy Scout camp during the time of the year when there's no scouts there, and there's some mysteries going on. Why are all these trucks still on this property and driving through these gullies? What's going on over here? We need to investigate. And here we are, riding on our bikes or just running through the woods, trying to figure out the mysteries of life.
Well, that's exactly right. That's what this setting is all about, because we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have all the answers on the internet immediately at our fingertips. There's so much more mystery.
Yes.
And investigating is something that kids just like to do. They're very curious. And I think as adults, we like to get back to that, because that's part of our lives that we really enjoyed, was just learning new things and investigating these strange occurrences that are happening in our neighborhoods, and just the freedom of being able to jump on your bike and go do this thing.
Right.
And I definitely did that as a kid. Even living in a city, I had my banana seat bike, and I would drive all over within the area I was allowed to be in, and we were just free.
And you had adventures.
Awesome. We did. We had all sorts of adventures, usually involving lots of candy. It was awesome. So,
did you have the flag on your banana seat?
I didn't have the flag, but I was always jealous of the kids that did. Those are cool.
I didn't either, but I had. It's kind of funny because the whole nostalgia factor of this game takes me back, and I've like dug through photos, and I know I have a picture of me on my bike, so I found one, and I had one of the first, I guess, BMX trick bike, with the front pegs and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, those came out in the 80s. That's when it was very popular, skateboarding and all that stuff with the bikes. And I'm like, okay, I can see this now, storylines and adventure prompts coming into my imagination. And I know that the GM community, the game masters out there, when you guys picked this up, if you did not already get it on, because I know it was a Kickstarter and it was very successful. Yeah. That this is a game where you can literally show your youth to your players, and then maybe add a few other things in it that are way off the charts of what really happened in our life in the 80s.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for it. I actually get goosebumps when I start talking about it. I got them right now. It's a game that I hope that I get to play tonight because it's RPG night here at GAMA. So super fun.
One, it's honestly just a game that almost anybody should just pick up and try, because it's only $25. So, and it's a little book. You're not going to get a huge tome of information, but you get everything you need for you to start playing this game. And of course, there will be more content later for those who want it. But it's just $25 to jump in, and it's co-designed by John Gilmore, who is one of the masters of storytelling in board games. Right. So if you enjoyed, say, Dead of Winter or Dinosaur Island, he was the designer of those games. Right. And we actually interviewed him last week on our show, and he talked about how he approaches game design from a thematic standpoint. And he really wanted to make Kids on Bikes with his co-designer, Doug Ludowski, because there's just so much incredible stuff in that setting and that theme.
Oh, absolutely.
And he wanted something that any board gamer could jump into. So if you haven't played role-playing games before, don't be intimidated by this. Right. You can play it with your children. You can play it with your best friends that are a board game community. And it doesn't matter, and you get enough story prompts, and then you can pull from your own experiences and put that into the game and just have a great time.
So excited. One of the things, for those of you that watch Game Trade Media, we know we do building character. So make sure you stay tuned for future episodes, because we are going to do a building character episode for Kids on Bikes.
Super fun.
For everything, for Overlight. We're going to, because we're really lucky that Paul Butler literally lives 30 minutes from our studio. So I can probably get him up and be like, hey, we need to do a character build.
I think so.
Because the Humanu.
Those are for you.
Those are for me. Yeah, the symbiotic relationship between a monk and a simian-like creature. Yes.
There's so many unique character types and just different environments and races and everything in this game. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's so good. There's so much good stuff coming out of Renegade, and there's going to be so much more that we can't even talk about yet.
It's true.
Can't even talk about. There's a box or a bag of prototypes over there we can't even talk about yet. So much good stuff.
It's all coming soon.
Right. And where can we all find this, everybody? I know you're out there watching, and you're going to comment below, but at your friendly local game store, and also become part of that community at your store. Pick up a board game, play it there, get people involved, just have a good time with a hobby that we all love.
Absolutely.
Right? Sarah, thank you so much for coming up.
Thanks for having me. This
Always
is great.
a pleasure. Because I think I'm going to have you guys in studio next week.
We're going to be there. I can't wait to come visit. It's going to be fun.
But that information is for a later date, as what we're going to be doing. It's going to be it's top secret. So, yeah. So thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with some more amazing content here from GAMA. So don't get off Facebook. Just stay there all day. We're going to be dropping in throughout the day. So have a wonderful time. And don't forget, Painting Happy Luminaries today is going down at 2, so real soon. And Dave Taylor is going to be doing some terrain, some scratch terrain builds from stuff you can find around the house for your Star Wars Legion game. So check that out. And we'll be back soon.
Thanks for watching Board Games and Beyond. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.